Yeah.
We're starting Be'ezras Hashem Siman Kuf Lamed Ches and Vayol Moshe, and today we're going to talk about Yeshua through Rishayim. Previous Siman and Kuf Lamed Vav Lamed Zayin, we talked about Nisim, Kuf Lamed Vav mainly, that if Nisim happened through Rishayim, it really causes people to go B'nimshach after Tzionis. But now we're going to talk about Stam Yeshuas, even if it's not Nisim, it's Derech HaTeva, but do Yeshuas come through Rishayim? Mavur b'Tana devei Eliyahu Rabba Siman Tes. The Tana devei Eliyahu says like this: Be'oisa Shah, at that time, before the war that happened with Dvoira and Barak and Sefer Shoftim, so Haruha Lidvoira, that Min HaShamayim they showed Dvoira Upirshu HaMefarshim B'Ruach HaKodesh. The Mefarshim say that it means that she saw with her Ruach HaKodesh, she was a Neviah, and she saw then how is HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to save the Jewish people from the Goyim? Because of the children who get up in the morning and stay late in the evening in the shuls in the Beis Medrash, and they learn Torah every day. That's the schus by which the Yidden are going to get saved.
Why was Davka Devorah shown to one any other Navi? Why Devorah?
And Umanish Tanes, let's finish it up, maybe we'll see inside in a minute. Umanish Tanes Yoel Eshes Chever Akeni, Mikol Nashim. What was the difference between Yoel and other Nashim? Sheba Teshua Gedolah Yisrael Al Yada. That why did the Yeshua come through Yoel when she killed Sisera? Why was that the Yeshua? So here it is, Kach Amru Chachamim, Yoel Isha Ksheir Haisa, V'yasser Ratzon Baila. Yoel was a good wife, and she did the will of her husband. Yain Sham Sheherich. Take a look at the Tana of Eliyahu there, that it goes on for a long time. What's the point that we're taking out from this? Let's just finish at the point. She'i Efsher Lavoy Teshua Yisrael, Ela Al Yidei Zakoin. That Yeshua, salvation, a winning, a rest or victory can only come to the Jewish people through people who have a schus, people who are tzaddikim or they have some schus. Sheyesh lahem schus ha-Torah u'mitzvahs. They have the schus of Torah and mitzvahs. V'chein hu bekama midrashim. And the same thing is stated through in many midrashim. Okay? You have something to ask?
Yeah. So just want to say, well, we find a similar thing by Esther. Esther, was always faithful to her husband Achashverosh.
Achashverosh?
She was always loved by Achashverosh by the first time, Well, I'm asking you, Shakiyayala. You find a similar thing by Esther.
Okay. Now take a look, Tana of Eliyahu Rabbah, first page of the Makoyim sheets. It says, Be'oisa Shah Haruha L'Dvoira B'mei HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mashiach Yisrael Mibein HaAkum B'bonim Shem Mashkim Ma'arivim L'Beis HaKnesset L'Beis HaMedrash V'oiskim B'divrei Torah B'chol Yom Tamid. That was the part that he quoted. Then he says, Umanish Tana Zvulun v'Naftali. This is the part that he skipped out. What was the difference between Zvulun and Naftali? Those are the Shvatim that fought in the war of Dvoir and Barak. Mikol Shvatim Shabas Teshua Yigudol Yisrael Yadim Shenemar V'lokachta Imcha Aseres Tavafim Ish M'nei Naftali M'nei Zvulun. Hashem said beferish, when you go to take soldiers for this war, take Davka from those two tribes. Why? So Kach Amru Chacham Naftali Shimesh Es Yaakov Avinu Yatzim Menu Kairas Ruach Uzvulun Shimesh Es Yisachar. He supported Yaakov, he supported Yisachar, so that was the schus. Ve'al she'asa lo yachsanya u'bishvil shebatach Barak belokei Yisrael. The hemim b'nevuasa shel Dvoyer. The schus of Barak, that he believed in the nevuah of Dvoyer. Shenemar v'yomer elecha Barak im telchi imi v'holachti. If you go with me, then I'll go. If not, not. V'toimer haloich elech imach v'fichach chalak loy b'shira imach. Shenemar v'tasher Dvoyer u'Barak. That's why Barak got his name into the shira. He was part of the shira. Manish tanis yoel eshes chever akeni mikol nashim kulam shabas teshul gedol Yisrael yadash nemar batikach yoel eshes chever es yisad ha'oihel batiskas yasid b'rakasoi that she killed Sisera v'hu nirdan v'yav v'yamois kach amru chacham yoel eshes isha ksheir haisa v'oiser ratzon baila haisa mikana amru chacham im lecha isha ksheir b'nashim ela isha shehi oiser ratzon baila. Okay, and it goes on. It's marich about this subject. Okay. Why Davka Dvoyer? I don't know. Or why is it written by Dvoyer? But he says, Kain hu bekama midrashim. Uma sheba Yeshua li Yisrael al yidei Yeravam ben Yehoash. Now we come to a kasha that B'tzionim asked many times already that there's a story in Tanakh that Yeravim ben Yoash, the fourth generation after Yehu, was a king who was very victorious in his wars, and he expanded the borders of Eretz Yisrael. Right? And it says, Vayas Rab Einei Hashem. He did what was wrong in the eyes of Hashem, and then right after that it says, Hu Heshiv es Gevul Yisrael. He expanded the borders, and he conquered a lot of land. So of course the Zionists want to say, look, you see from this that you could do the Rab Einei Hashem and still.
But it was a churban in the end. They were exiled tribes, and the 10 were lost. So,
yeah, okay, it wasn't.
Still your argument, because in the end, hundreds of years later, the 10 tribes, were gone.
For the time, at least, it was good. And it says, Ki Ra Hashem B'ani Yisrael.
They want the new
Hashem saw the oppression of the Jewish people, and he wanted to save them.
They also say the same thing about Omri. Omri
was Hoisif Irachas B'Yisrael, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So take a look what he says now. Av shaloi sar mechatos Yeravim, even though Yeravim ben Yoash did not stop, Yeravim Hasheni, right, did not depart and did not stop doing the Aveira that Yeravim started, which is the 2 Egli Azov, but still he was saved. So how could that be? So Harba Tamim B'Davar, there's many reasons for this. Reishis, and he's going to say basically, just to give you a hakdam, he's going to say 3 reasons. First of all, in the schus of Yehu, his great-grandfather. Second of all, because if not, Hashem already promised that there would be 4 generations after Yehu, and he's the 3rd, so if he would get conquered, then there wouldn't be a 4th. And third of all, because Yeravim ben Yoash had his chus that he didn't believe the Lashon Hara that they said about Amos Hanavi. We're going to talk about that now. Okay, take a look. The first reason why the Yeshua came through Yeravim ben Yoash. Reishis mevur b'krab malachim beis yud pasuk lamed. Vayomer Hashem el Yehu. Yaran asher hetivoy salasos yasher be'enai. That because Yehu did what was right in the eyes of Hashem, kechol asher bilvavi asisa leveis Achav. You did whatever I commanded, whatever I wanted done to the dynasty of Achav. That he killed out all the kids of Achav and Achav himself and everybody. So b'nei ribeim yeshu v'lucha al kisei Yisrael. 4 generations of kings will sit on the throne of Israel.
Yaim, however, wasn't a total tzaddik. Yahu wiped out, burned out the calves.
Oh, right. We're going to talk about that now.
Yeah.
The Darshun mi pasuk zeh b'Gemara. The Gemara darshans from this pasuk that Hashem promised Yehu this promise. Sanhedrin daf kuf beis amud aleph. The Yehu tzadika rabba havoy. That Yehu was a big tzaddik. And that you see that he didn't stop doing the golden calves, like you just said. So pligi sham b'Gemara my garmale. The Gemara has a machlokes there. What was the cause of that? That he wasn't such a rasha for doing that. Just there was some kind of a mistake that he made. What was the mistake? So the Abai Amar Bishvil Shabris Crucilis Fasaim. That there's a principle that when someone says something, Hashem makes it come true. So here, what happened? Yehu said that when he was trying to get the Kohanei Habal killed, he said, I'm going to make a big festival to the Baal. And he said, Achav avadas Habal ma'at, Yehu yavdenu harbe. Yehu's going to serve the Baal even more than Achav. So there was a trick that he used to get the Kohanim to come into this big room, and then he had his soldiers come and slaughter them all. So, but since the priest Christus Vasaim, so when a person says something, it comes true. Since he said Yehu Yavdenu Harbe, Hashem made it come true a little bit. That at least he did some of Avodah Zarah. Okay, that's one shot. The Rava says a different shot. Yan shechoisamay shel Achia Hashiloni Ra Avitah. He saw the signature of Achia Hashiloni, and he slipped up. He made a mistake and thought that was a hechsher on the whole golden calves of Yeravim. Now, what's this thing about the signature of Achia Shiloni? Take a look. The pages here. Page 2. It's the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Daf Kuf Aleph on the base, at the bottom. Yeah. And it starts like this. Vayivat. Then and Yeravim took an eitzah. That means he consulted with his advisors and he made 2 golden calves, one in base kale and one in Dan. Okay, so Amar Rebbe Yehuda Shehoishiv Rasha Eitzel Tzadik. That when he took counsel from his advisors, he had 2 types of advisors. He had Rishaim and Tzadikim. So Amar Luhu, and he said to them like this: Chasmisu al kol diavidna. He said, are you going to sign under and give a hechsher to anything I'm going to do? So Amrulei, hein. They said, yes, we will. Amr Lahu, Malka bo'ina lemeheve. I want to be king. I guess this was before he was appointed the king. So Amrulei hein. He said, oh yeah. They said, yeah, you can be king. Called the aminu lechu avidatu. He said, are you going to do anything I command you to do? So Amrulei hein. He said, yeah. Filu lemiflach labayis kechavim. Are you going to even worship avodah zarah if I tell you to? So Amrulei tzaddik chas v'shalom. Tzaddik said, no, I'm not going to do that. So Amrulei Rasha tzaddik sal kedaitach. Do you really think the Gavra ki Ravam palach labayis kechavim? Ravam was a big tzaddik. You think that he's really going to do avodah zarah? El lamisnisu hu dekabai. He's just coming to test you. Ikablisu l'memre. If you're going to accept his word, it's just a test. It doesn't mean literally that he's going to do avodah zarah. So they signed. Both the tzaddik and the Rasha signed. And the Gemara says, turn the page now. He also made this mistake and signed under Yeravam, because Rashi says, he thought Yeravam was just testing them. Yeah, and then the Gemara continues with, this is the part that you quoted. The Yehu tzaddik Rabba Hava. Yehu was a big tzaddik. Shenemar vayomer Hashem al Yehu. And then it says, Uchsiv v'yehu, 4 lines down, 5 lines down. V'yehu loy shomer lo'achas b'toras Hashem elokei Yisrael b'chol levav loy sarmi al chatzis Yeravam asher hechti Yisrael. My garmalei, who caused it? So one shot is Abai, Abai breathed cruciferous for Saim, and Rava said, Choisama shel Achia Shilani Rav v'tah. He saw this signature of Achia Shilani, and he made a mistake. Dichsiv, as it says, v'shachata seitim hem miku. These people who did avodah zarah, they're called seitim. They're going after avodah zarah. Shachta, they made a very big chumrah to shecht. What does it mean? Vani muster lekulam. Amr Yochanan means that Amr Kadosh Baruch Hu heim hem miku mishali. They were more machmir on their avodah zarah than I was machmir on the Beis Hamikdash. Ani amarti kol shein oil l'regel loiv basei. The Torah says if you don't go to Yerushalayim for a lila regel, what do you get? Loiv basei. Not the most severe there. The Hamam, where they said, Kol ha'oil l'regel, anybody who does go up to the oil l'regel Yerushalayim, yidaker b'cherev, will get killed by the sword. That's what Yeravam did. He put the watchmen on the roads to make sure that people couldn't go up to Yerushalayim. So
Hoshea removed it.
What?
Hoshea,
the last king, right? So that's what Yeravam did, and then when Yehu came along, he was taught in this. He believed that this was correct because there was a signature of the Gedolei Ador of Achia Shilani on it, which is similar to, as I said before, this is similar to Tzionis, because in the beginning of Aguda there were Gedolei Ador who signed on it, and then later on, whenever what happened, people thought that those people who signed earlier in the 1910s, 1920s would agree to anything that was done by the same organization later, just because it's the same organization with the same name, even though it's not the same people. Okay, back to the Vayol Moshe.
Who was the Yeravam ben Nevat placed the guards, or was the Yeravam ben Yoash?
So Yeravam ben Nevat was the one who placed the guards, and he's the one who got the signatures of the tzaddikim under him. Anything he does, they'll agree to. And then Yehu came along later, and he when he was going and getting rid of all the avodah zarah of Achav, but he said at least these 2 things, these calves, I'll agree to because they have a signature. They have a hechsher of Achia Shilani on them. Okay, fine. So what's coming out from this is that Yeravam ben Yoash, the fact that he kept alive this avodah zarah going of the calves, is not the worst thing in the world, because he had a reason to be toya, just like Yehu was toya, and Yehu was still called a tzaddik. Okay, because of Sham Haradak. The pasuk Hanal, the Radak says on this pasuk that Hashem promised Yehu that he would have 4 generations of kings after him. B'nei Ribeim k'moi banim Ribeim means 4 children, 4 generations. Yehoyachaz, Yehoyash, Yeravam, Zechariah. Those are the 4. V'yamru, and they said, B'schus shehishchis beis Achav shemalchu daled doiris, that the reason why it's Mida Keneged Mida is because Achav's dynasty ruled for 4 generations. So therefore, malchu mibana of daled doiris. Therefore, Yehu had 4 generations after him ruling. V'yehu bir habal, Yehu got rid of the Baal. V'loi bir ha'agolim, but he didn't get rid of the golden calves. Why? Ki oisam nasru l'shem Hashem, because they were not really avodah zarah; they were made for Hashem. This is the Radak l'shitasa. You mentioned the Radak, I think in Siman Kuf Lamed Vav, that Yeravam, maybe Kuf Lamed Hey, that Yeravam, when he made these golden calves, he didn't mean it for avodah zarah. He meant it to just to be a way to serve Hashem. Like we have like pictures sometimes in shul, we have a picture of a lion by the Aron Kodesh. So it wasn't worse than that from Yeravim's point of view. The problem is people got nichshel in it. Okay. V'afal pichein, says the Radak. Afal pichein haya chet gadol. Even so, it was a big chet, and therefore he was punished for it. Yuyin Sham. Umavur bazeh. We see from this the afshe hashime makasuv liyehu banav. Even though the Tanakh blames Yehu and his children, Hadal Doiris, Shagam Yeravim ben Yohaya Shu b'soicham, b'chatas Yeravim. The Torah blames, the Tanakh blames them for continuing with the chet of Yeravim. And Shagam Zanikra Avodah Zarah, that it was called an Avodah Zarah, even though Yeravim didn't mean it that way. Mikamacham hayis chusam rav. They still had a lot of schus. B'mashal hay b'neim avodah zarah shel Achav. They at least got rid of Achav's avodah zarah of the Baal. V'yomer b'Gemara Sanhedrin Daf Kuf Beis. Gemara says Kalois sha'as Achav. The lowest of the aveiros that Achav did. Kachamuros sha'as Yeravim. They were the worst aveiros that Yeravim did. So you see, Yeravim was better than Achav in every way. So why then does that Yeravim ben Nevat? This means, by the way. So
first, I want to say that Rabbi Levi said when he was lecturing how bad Achav was for 6 months, that Yeravim only wanted power, so he made a learn to keep his position. He was afraid he would lose it if you were to be Oreg. He looks silly when the king of Yehuda is being on there and he's not.
Right.
But Achav, did because he loved the Avodah Zarah.
That's what was worse about it, right?
Yeah, and also Yeravim said, serve the cow as intermediary. As a symbol, of serving Hashem.
Like the Radak.
But Achav did that Baal, and Hashem both can go together. Not as intermediary.
Okay, so why does the Tanakh constantly say that the main person who did the chet was Yeravim? Because he was the first one who started the Avodah Zarah. But in the Chanami, he wasn't the worst.
Because it did lead to being worse. It did lead to Baal.
Yeah. Upirish Rashi Zal Shahaya Melech Rishon Sheikdiach Estav Shiloi. He was the first king who went off the derech and went into Avodah Zarah. Ukvarnis Boyer Shagam Achav Hayashoyim Yeravim. Yeravim ben Nevat.
All the kings of Malchus were bad.
Right, but Yeravim was the first, so that's why the Tanakh always says that Yeravim shehechti is Yisrael. Okay? And even Achav, who was the worst, he was also showing Torah mitzvahs from Mesiras Nefesh Mamash, and he even gave his life up to protect the Torah. He went into a war to protect the Sefer Torah. And Zulas Oisei Avain Shal Avodah Zarah. The only thing he did wrong was, and besides also there was the chet of Navos, but besides that, the main aveira that he did was Avodah Zarah. The Takif Le Yitzrei Tuva, because he had a very strong Yetzer Hara, K'mosh Pirish Rashi Zal. And all the more so if Yeravim was considered better than Achav, so his aveira must have been even less. Shahaya boy makam litois. His aveira was something that even a tzaddik like Yeravim could make a mistake and think that it was allowed. However you're going to learn it, it comes out that there is a schus that Yehu had. So
Yehu fought against Kfira, so he has a schus,
Right.
He fought against Zion don't fight Kfira at all. They promote more and more and more.
Oh,
and then if you're a kaifer, more Yeshua is going to be very kaifer.
Okay, so Kamoshin Yistav, he did what the Navi commanded him to do. For Harag is called Gezel Achav. He killed out the whole family of Achav. For Loi Hishir Loi Sari Yupal, he didn't leave over any survivors.
And he even buried them. They're all thrown, but only Yezevel, her hands and feet were buried.
Right. Because of that schus of that mitzvah he did, Huftach mi pi Navi. He was promised by the Navi, b'shem Hashem, in the name of Hashem, she'iyeh loy elu adal doyers malachim al Yisrael, that he would have 4 generations after him kings over Yisrael. Kemavur b'malachim beis tes. V'af shaloi sar mechatas Yeravim. Again, even though he still kept on doing the golden calves, mikol makom amru alav b'gemara the tzaddik rabba haba. The Gemara still calls him a tzaddik. Kemoshe hevesi le'el v'im kein elu adal doyers. These 4 generations of kings, Shal Yehu, Asher Gam Yeravim ben Yoash, Shu B'Sleichem. Yeravim ben Yoash is one of them. Af Shahaya Rab B'Einei Hashem, even though it was wrong what they did in the eyes of Hashem, Mashallah Yisar Mechatzis Yeravim, because they didn't stop doing the chet of Yeravim. V'Haya Zet Tois Gadol B'Neim. It was a great mistake. Yikomakam Haya Lahem Gam Schusim Merubim. They had a lot of big schusim for Harba Torah mitzvahs, and they had a lot of Torah mitzvahs who must through Nafshim al Torah Kedosha. That they gave their lives up for the Torah, because you see they were better than Achav. Achav did that, so they must have also done it. Gam Mevur B'Kra. Now we get to the third reason, or the second. I think maybe this is the second reason. Yeah, the second reason why we're saying that Yeravam ben Yoash was saved in the war. Gamavur Bekra Hatan. The pasuk says beferish what the reason was. Shaba Az Yeshua Alidei Yeravam ben Yehoash. Kedichsiv Malachim Beis Yudal pasuk of Zayin. V'loy Dibra Hashem Limchois Hashem Yisrael Mitachas Hashemayim. That when Hashem was saving Yeravam ben Yoash in the wars, He said, "I'm not going to wipe out the name of Klal Yisrael from under the heavens." Vayoshiim biyad Yeravam ben Yoash, and therefore He saved them in the hand of Yeravam ben Yoash. V'im kain. So you see, the Torah says beferish, the Tanakh says beferish, the reason why He saved them. He didn't want to wipe out Klal Yisrael. V'im kain mevura tam. We see the reason is she'im loy haim menatzeach. If Yeravam ben Yoash would not have won the war, then the name of Klal Yisrael would have chas v'shalom been wiped out mitachas hashemayim. And if there wouldn't be any more Aseres HaShvatim, then there wouldn't be possible to make another king after him. Right? They wouldn't have another king to fight for them. And that would be against the promise, because the promise of the Navi was Al Elu Adala Doiris Shiyum Malachim, that there would be 4 generations of kings, and the last one is Yeravam ben Yoash's son Zechariah. Okay, that the promise of a Navi can't be changed, so therefore it must be that's why Hashem saved them, because He made this promise. And especially going back to the first reason, that they had a big schus of Yehu. Now we come to the third reason why Hashem saved them. Still, the Tana of Eliyahu Rabbah Perek Yud Zayin, a different Tana of Eliyahu. Eliyahu Zuta Perek Zayin. There's 2 sections of Tana of Eliyahu. There's the Rabbah and the Zuta. So in the Zuta Perek Zayin, it also asks this question: Manish Tani Yeravam ben Yoash Shabal Yada Yeshua Yisrael. What's the difference? Why was Yeravam ben Yoash zeicha to this Yeshua? El mibnei shalai kiba lashon hara al Amos Hanavi, because he didn't believe the lashon hara about Amos Hanavi. V'gar v'hoitzi ben Zifa as Amatzia, and he rebuked and threw out Amatzia, who came to tell him this lashon hara. That he said, no, the Navi didn't speak that nevuah. What was the nevuah? He says in Amos Perek Ches that Amatzia claimed that Amos Hanavi said that Yeravam ben Yoash would die by the sword. We're going to see it inside in a second, I think. And therefore, so he came to tell him, like, go and kill this Navi. He's saying bad about you, and he didn't believe lashon hara. And he said, first of all, he probably didn't say it, and even if he did say it, he said it b'shem Hashem. He didn't make it up, so he didn't do anything wrong. He says, "V'im nisnabe." If he did say the nevuah kach, v'im nisnabe kach, loy me'atzmoi hu misnabe. It's not his own kach el min hashamayim hu misnabe. Okay. V'siyem al zeh be'Eliyahu Zuta perek hanal. The Eliyahu Zuta ends off mikan am chachamim megalgalin schus al yidei zakai v'choy al yidei chayav. Then a good thing happens through a good person, and a bad thing through a bad person. So therefore, Yeravam ben Yoash was a good person because he wasn't Mikabel Lashon Hara. That's why the good thing happened through him.
Yeah.
Turn to page 4. Take a look at it. This is Eliyahu Zuta.
What's Eliyahu Zuta? The Medrash?
It's a Medrash that Eliyahu Navi taught Rav Anan. The Gemara says that he taught him 2 sections. He taught them Eliyahu Rabbah, and then afterwards he stopped coming to him, and then because of a certain ma'aseh that happened, Ksuba Staf Kuf Beis, I think Kuf Hey, he stopped coming to him, and then when he convinced him to come back, he taught it to him when he was inside a box. Ron used to hide inside a box while Eliyahu was teaching him, so that's called Eliyahu Zuta. Okay, so take a look. What was the schus of Yeravam ben Yoash that he was able to expand the borders of Israel? He wasn't he a worshipper of idols? Because he didn't believe the lashon hara on Amos. Shenemar. Vayishlach Amatzia cohen beis el Yeravam melech Yisrael. Leimor. Amatzia sent a message to the Melech Yisrael, and he said, Kasher alecho Amos. Amos is making a conspiracy against you. B'kerev beis Yisrael. Lo yisuchal ha'aretz lahachil es kol dvarav. The land can't hold his words, meaning he's going to overthrow the land. Ki koy amar Amos b'cherev yamus Yeravam. Amos prophesied that you're going to die by the sword. Miyad gar by Yeravam. Yeravam rejected that, and he said, V'amatzi v'hoitziyoi ben Zifa. He kicked him out of his house. V'yomer lo chas v'shalom lo nisnabe oiset tzadi kach. V'im nisnabe kach lo midaito im nisnabe kach el min hashemayim. Nemar lo nisnabe kach. Yeah, when Hashem saw what Yeravim did, Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu, Afa Pisha Adora Hu of the Avodah, even though this generation worshipped idols, V'gam Roish Adora of the Avodah, even though the king worships Avodah, Afilu Hachi Haaretz Asher Amarti L'Avram L'Yitzchak L'Yaakov L'Astes L'Zaram Et Nana B'Yadei Shel Zeh. I'm going to give the land that I promised Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov in the hand of this man. All right, and that's why he was the one who won the war. Okay, fine. V'im Kain. Now we get back to Vayol Moshe. Now we're going to tell it Sula Maisa, what the Zionists did. V'im Kain. Eile HaRashaim. These Rashaim, these Zionists, Shehema Koifrim Gemurim, that they completely deny anything about the Torah. They're not like Yeravim ben Yoash that believed in the Torah. They just had a Yetzer Hara to continue with whatever that was, the golden calves. But they're Koifrim Gemurim. Rachman Litzlam B'Hashem Yisbarach U'V'Torasei HaKdoisha U'V'Divrei HaNeviim. They deny the Neviim. V'Oid Yoister Mizeh. They do even worse. They're not just privately Koifrim, but they actually go out to the rest of the world and they convince them also to be koifrim. Shehem mesisim umadichim umavir maladas. They go and they take children from the different countries where Jews lived before. They bring them to Eretz Yisrael and they bring them in the camps and they teach them Shema. They teach them to be koifrim. B'oifen noyer in a terrible way. Asher kamoyu loyni yasa, which never happened before in Jewish history. V'alidei hatzlachasam, and the more success they have, the more land they conquer, and the more people they want to bring up to their country. Oisim shmadiyas merubos b'Yisrael. That hatzlacha, that victory, allows them to do even more shmad. Okay? So, ha'ech efsher shetava Yeshua liYisrael ayadim. So how then could the Yeshua come through the Tzionim? Neged hanevuah shehera Kadosh Baruch Hu l'dvoira. That's against what the nevuah that the Tana of Eliyahu says, that Hashem showed dvoira, Shanaviyah sheYeshua liYisrael mibein ha'akum hu rak al yidei ha'oiskim b'Torah mitzvahs. That fakert, the Yeshua only comes through those who do Torah mitzvahs b'chol yom tamid. Okay? Therefore, anybody who believes in Hashem and in the Torah, you can never believe that any good thing could come to the Jewish people through the Tzionim. Because that's denying the Torah,
it also defeats the point of keeping the Torah. What's the point of the Torah if the best things can come from not keeping it? We believe that there's a Shav
Avodah, right? Like the Navi Malachi said.
What's the point of keeping the Torah? If you're telling me that it'll be more fruit, but you're contradicting yourself. You're saying they're not observant and the best things happen to them. So what's the point of being from then? So okay. Adrabah, you're doing the opposite actually.
Alright, now the problem is that Tzionim are going to tanya that there are a lot of from Jews in Eretz Yisrael, and the Yeshua is happening b'schus them, and just the agents are the Tzionim. They're the ones who are the messengers to carry it out. We're going to speak about that in a second. Let me just finish up.
But how do you know how much is the schus? How do you know how much is needed?
Alright, well we don't know.
How do you know?
But it could still be that the Yeshua happened through Rishaim, but to save tzaddikim. We're going to talk about it in a second. Just let me finish Vayol Moshe. Okay, Ufrat she'al avonos chamurim ko'ela. Especially since we know the Torah says that if you do averos in Eretz Yisrael, you get kicked out. It says Ufrat she'al avonos chamurim ko'ela. If you do very serious sins in Eretz B'arteinu HaKadoshah, Amra Torah HaKadoshah b'ferish ha'idoisi vochem hayoim. The Torah promises that Yidden will get thrown out of the land, right? Ki avoid toiveidun maher. There are many psukim about that in the Torah. They say very serious threats. If you do such a virus, Eretz Yisrael, that terrible things will chas v'shalom happen. So therefore, a trembling must cease as anybody who believes in the Torah and believes in the holiness of Eretz Yisrael, anybody must be seized with trembling because of this. That they do these things in such a holy place. You can never get a rest. You can never rest your spirit because of this problem. Unless Zulas, if you're chas v'shalom, you don't believe that the Torah is saying the truth about these threats. And so why then does the Zionist state continue to exist? So he says, the Kodesh Baruch Hu gives the other side, the Satan's side, some kind of a koyach to tempt people to averos. to get people to do chet. And once in a while, there's such a thing that even a false navi could stop the sun in the middle of the sky in order to convince people that he's true. And the Torah says, no, don't listen to such a navi. Okay? To test the world, but a permanent Yeshua can't come out of this. We have to have Hashem's mercy that nothing bad should come out of it. Okay, so now take a look what the response to this is. Page 5.
Kasher?
No, this is Aloi Nala.
Okay, who wrote this?
This is Mordechai Tzion, the Talmud of Rabbi Shlomo Aviner.
What's his name?
Mordechai Tzion, and he wrote a book called Aloi Nala, which is really a compendium, really a collection of all the things that have been written against Bayol Moshe since it came out. It just came out this year. So he says here, like this. Kosav Bekuntris Tzakas Yisrael. There's a book called Tzakas Yisrael which comes to Shlach of Vayoim Moshe about this, and he says like this: Harbe me'akanoim makshim. Many of the anti-Zionists ask, Eich efshar lavoi loymar shetavoi nes or Yeshua al yidei Rishayim. How could any nes happen through Rishayim? Haloi eina mekayim mitzvahs of Yisbarach. They don't keep the mitzvahs.
Been reading it. He does Narishkeit, this guy.
Hey, listen. Lafia nis daiti loy kasha klal. It's not a kasha. Loymar shetava Yeshua al yidei Rishayim. It's not a kasha that Yeshua could come through Rishayim. Why not? I'll ask you a question here. Eich efshar sheboa Yeshua Yosef al yidei Sar Mashkim Shahai Rasha. Yosef got saved by the Sar Mashkim. Ve'eich efshar sheboa Yeshua al yidei Achashverosh Rasha Shebitul Gzeres Haman. Achashverosh was bad, so how could Yeshua come through him? V'chein harbe pa'amim ba Yeshua al yidei Masha Nastu Shaycha the Rishayim. In history, there are many times that Jews have given a shaycha to a leader who was a Rasha, Rishayim Gemurim Lishtadol Levatel Gzeres Rois Al Yisrael. So Bavadai Tashiv Delay Kasha. Elamai, what are you going to answer? You're going to answer, no, the Yischus happened, the Yeshua happened through Mordechai Vester. He says, Yeshua's Purim Ba Yidei Mordechai Vester, V'zeh Shaloi HaYu Yichol Nahatil Klal, Im Lo HaYu Mevatel Achashverosh Rasha Gzei Rasha, Bitul Zeh HaYu Maaseh Koif Be'alma. What Achashverosh did was just a Maaseh Koif. He was just doing the physical part of it, but the Hishtadlus came through Mordechai Vester. Yeah,
and yet Esther was the one who brought the Yeshua with Kol Megillus Esther. Also, the Maharal warns in war. Do you want to say? Yeah.
So he says Achashverosh didn't play much of a role. He was just doing the physical part. So he says, "Oy bazoi v'chein nami efshar loymar sheba Yeshua v'hatzala al-yidei hachavshim bizmanenu." You could say the same thing about the Israelis. Beretz Yisrael al-yidei shenatzchu anshe tzahal esu Aravim. That Tzahal, the Israeli army, won the war against the Arabs. Ha-Yeshua b'schus hacharedim. The Yeshua came because of the from people. U'v'schus hatinoike shenishpum, and maybe the 5 people who don't know any better. And ma'ashenis arev b'davar eis yad Rishayim, because of the Rishayim were mixed in. That's not such a kasha. That it was just a physical action, but it wasn't really the real Yeshua. It wasn't coming because of them. All right. Then he says, "Harbe anoshim holchim leroifim." People go to doctors who are not from. Ve'enam maknim lefakasha eich efshar shetava Yeshua al yadam. Then he says, many foods were made by Rishayim. I'm just going to skip it because I can't read everything now. And then he says, on the next
dumb
page,
argument, they're trying to make the economy function. Therefore, the stupid argument.
Let's just finish up now. Turn to the top of the next page. That who won the war? Who beat Germany in World War II? The communists, Stalin, right? So that was the Yeshua for Klal Yisrael. Are we going to go and say, oh, the communists and Stalin must have had a schus of Torah mitzvahs? You see, they were the worst persecutors of Torah mitzvahs. Alright? He says many times throughout history, when there have been wars between countries, if one country won the war and Jews benefited from it, that doesn't mean that country was all big tzaddikim. They could be Rishayim, but they won the war and Hashem made them his shliach to help the Jews. Alright, so what's the response? What's the Rebbe saying? What's Satmar Rebbe saying in this Tzion Vayom Moshe? Yeah. So I think what he's saying is like this. He's saying, Avada Yeshua could come through Rishayim. He never said Yeshua can't come through Rishayim. What he's saying is that if it came through Rishayim, even long term, but if it came through Rishayim, there has to be 3 reasons why. One of 3 reasons. Number 1 is they have some schus, like Rav Ben Yoash, his book. Or number 2, it's only temporary.
Okay, just have long term.
Right, but number 3 is it could even be a permanent Yeshua through Rishaim if it's not on Nisayan. That's the Rebbe's point. If it's not on Nisayan. So here's the point. Let's say Stalin goes and wins the war against Hitler. Is anyone going to go?
Oh, you know what?
Let me just finish my point. And is anyone going to go and become a communist because of this and say, oh yeah, it must be the Russians and the communists are right, we're going to go and join them? No. Obviously not. If let's say Spain wins against France in the Middle Ages and all of a sudden the Jews are saved, does that mean we're going to believe that they're tzaddikim? No. But the problem is with the Zionists, it's not like that. We see Bechush. The Rebbe was living in the real world. These Zionists are coming along. They're kind of like in the clouds. They're saying, look, it's wonderful. You see, you can be anti-Zionist and you can still say that Yeshua happens through the Zionists. That's not the real world. Let me just finish. The real world is that people did get sucked into Zionism because they say Hallel and they get sucked into it and they believe in it and they go to the army because they think, Hashem is doing Yeshua through them, and that's the Nisayan. That's his point. His point is a permanent Yeshua that's not a Nisayan can't happen through Rishaim. It has to be a Nisayan. It is a Nisayan, can't happen. Elamai, it must be that either it's not a Nisayan, like in the different countries that were Rishaim that won wars, or it's only temporary, like he's saying here in the end of this siman. He says that it's only temporary, and the Zionist Yeshua, everybody has to be trembling that in the end, who knows what's going to happen. All right?
Let me just say that I have heard